Hi folks, this is Jack Spirko with another survival podcast YouTube video. Today what we're going to be doing is the first video in a whole series of videos on building two 5-gallon buckets for long-term storage with a variety of foods that we can get from our local grocery store. Some of them require nothing more than repackaging them like we're going to talk about doing today. And some of them maybe require dehydration and things like that. But they're all going to be things we can get from the grocery store. They're all going to be things that are very affordable. They're all going to be things that we can eat every day. Now, the big thing to take away from this, I'm not going to be doing any vacuum sealing today. We'll do that along the way. I'll show you how to do it. You don't need to be watching me vacuum seal every time we talk about a new item that's going in. I won't be really messing around with mylar today at the end. When we seal our buckets up, the final part of them, we'll talk about how to do mylar so that everything is completely protected from light as well as oxygen, and using O2 absorbers there as well. We'll talk about the seals of the lids at that time. Until then, though, we're just going to go through them, and what I want you to take away from this is, one, be creative and think about what you're doing, but two, learning how to create a nutritional profile of the items that are in your individual food storage and understanding how much really do you have when you put some food aside. We've got some pasta, some lentils, some beans, and some rice here, which we're going to use as some of our first items in our storage. And looking at this, you might think this is actually quite a bit of food as we go through it. When we're done, we'll talk about how long it would actually last to people if they had to live on just this, and where it's weak and where its deficiencies are, and how we can shore them up. We'll be shoring up our deficiencies with items that go in the bucket as we build out the two buckets, but we'll also be shoring up our deficiencies in a completely different way. Some of the things that we're going to be lacking in are going to be proteins, meats, and fats. Now, those items don't generally store as well for super long-term storage, or if they're packed that way, we don't really need to take space up in our bucket for them. So we'll be doing a system where we have an adjunct to our buckets. Eventually, we'll talk about putting together, let's say, maybe a Rubbermaid tub that goes with our two buckets that has those other items. And these will be items that either are already packed for long-term storage from someplace like Mountain House, or they'll be off-the-shelf items that we'll be rotating through, but we'll be keeping those items stocked in that tub. So we pull them out, put them in the pantry, we'll be replacing them. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's get on with what we've got today. Again, everything's going into food grade, 5-gallon standard plastic bucket. Nothing real special about it. You can get them just about anywhere. First item that we're going to be putting in our bucket today are 2 packages of lentils. These are 16-ounce or 1-pound packages of lentils, so I'm doubling all the nutritional information on the back of them since there's 2 packs. We get about 13 servings per container, so that's 26 servings per container at 80 calories a serving for a total of 2,080 calories with our lentils. As far as carbohydrates, 520 carbohydrates, 260 grams of protein, 0 fat. So we've got a great protein carbohydrate ratio going on here. Lots of protein in lentils, but no fat. And you can become fat deficient rather quickly, actually, dietarily. And most Americans have too much fat in their diet, but in a survival situation, fat's going to be one of the components we're going to need to beef up here. So good nutritional profile for carbohydrates and protein. Why lentils? Why not just all beans? Lentils have a 15-minute prep time, even though they're completely dry. They'll store just as long as a bean. And a lot of people that aren't real fond of beans like pintos and garbanzos and other things like that will find actually lentils quite agreeable. So they're a good bean, or a good legume, I should say. The problem is no fat. So that's one of the weaknesses we'll need to shore up. We've done that a little bit with our second item. We also have 2 packages of garbanzo beans. These, again, are 16-ounce packages. They also have 13 servings per bag. So that's 26 for both, 110 calories each. So we have 2,860 calories just in these 2 little bags here. 546 grams of carbohydrate. Less protein than the lentils, 182 grams of protein. But if you notice, the carbohydrates weren't that different. So where's the, they actually have more calories. So where's the caloric makeup? It's in the fat. There's actually 52 grams of fat in these 2 bags of garbanzo beans. So we're bringing a little bit of fat in. That's part of why I chose garbanzo beans for one of the bean legume components of our bucket. Again, we're not packing them in the bucket that way. We're just going through them today. We'll be talking about packaging later. I also have 2 bags of what are called cranberry beans. For all intents and purposes, they're a variety of pinto bean. I think they have a little bit of a different flavor than pintos, and I like them. so I included them. Oh, I should have mentioned the cost of the garbanzo beans, 99 cents a pack, so we're at $2 in those. 99 cents a pack on the lentils, so we're at $2 there. The cranberry beans are a little bit more, $1.19 a bag. These all came from Kroger. So the price I'm giving you is from Kroger in Texas. I know it varies a little bit around the country. But so we're at $2.40 in dollars for our cranberry beans. 90 calories per serving, 26 calories, 13 in each bag, just like the other ones. 2,340 calories, broken down into carbohydrates of 546 carbs and 208 grams of protein, also 0 fat. The way I get the grams of protein, carbohydrates, and fat, this is important, you just use the nutritional information on the back, total number of servings times the number of grams per serving. Very, very simple mathematics. Important to do them, though. I don't want to sound like your math teacher, but math is actually paying off here. Next up, elbow macaroni from Skinner. Am I saying this is the brand to buy for storage or whatever? No. We eat this all the time at our home. We practice eat what you store what you eat. These are 12-ounce packages of elbow macaroni. There's 6 servings per package, so 12 total servings for 2 packages. That gives us 2,520 calories. Our breakdown in carbohydrates is going to be 504 grams of carbohydrate, 12 grams of fat, just a little bit of fat, at least there's some though, and 84 grams of protein. So the most protein-rich thing that we've actually had today has been our lentils, with a close second being the cranberry beans. But our 2 items that are not as sufficient in protein bring in a little bit of fat, which is important. So we'll put those aside. Those were $2.60 for both packs, $1.29 a piece. So we're up to about $6 or $7 now.